All-time Harleys. Here's 5 of them. First out of the gate, and in no particular order, we have the 1915 Harley-Davidson 11F. The 11F boasted Harley's first 3-speed transmission, which transformed the company from one that made motorbikes into one that built motorcycles. This bike featured a 1000cc engine that made 11 horsepower and had an automatic engine oiling system. Yep, back in the day there were no oil pumps and you had to lubricate the inside of your own engine. This bike also boasted a full electrical system with a magneto ignition system and, revolutionary for the time, a rear taillight. Imagine that, a rear taillight was revolutionary for the time. Think of how far we've come in the last 100 years. Next on the list, the 1936 Harley-Davidson Knucklehead. Ushering in Harley's change from an archaic flathead design to overhead valves, the 1936 L also introduced hog owners' rather quaint tradition of naming, or more accurately, nicknaming its bikes after their iconic valve cover design. This motorcycle is particularly special because it's the last motorcycle that the Davidson brothers and William S. Harley designed as a complete team. As Harley's introduction to the overhead valve world, the Knucklehead had a hemispherical combustion chamber. It was good for about 40 horsepower. This was a significant boost compared with previous flathead designs. Initially only 61 cubic inches or 1000 cc's, but in 1941 the iconic 74 cubic inch 1200cc versions were introduced. Eventually, Knuckleheads became the most popular Harleys of the day, accounting for over half of the motor company's 20,000 sales in 1947. If you're lucky enough to find one of these top quality 36s today, it'll easily top the $100,000 mark. One of the cool things about this old school design is it had a foot clutch, hand shift, and the brake lever on the left handlebar. I think that would stymie most modern motorcyclists. Moving on, we have one of the most iconic Harleys ever made. The 1957 Harley-Davidson XL Sportster. The Sportster evolved from a development of early flathead Model K lightweights. The first Sportsters were nothing more than an overhead valve cylinder head fitted onto the bottom end of the earlier cage flathead V-twin and stuck into a carryover chassis. The original 883 45 cubic inch engines were joined by first the 1100 and then the 1200cc versions when the original Ironhead engine morphed into the 1986's Evolution V-twin. 1979 was the last year of the kickstart, only the XLCH Competition Hot versions. The Sportster was also the platform that launched numerous Harley specialty models, including the flat track inspired XR1000 and the cafe racerish XLCR. Next, the 1965 Harley-Davidson Electroglide. Technically part of the Panhead engine family, the first FLH, H was for highway, was Harley's response to the aftermarket decking out its big 74s with touring hardware and heading for the open road. Besides the addition of the push-button electric start, modern features, the FLHBs got an updated 12-volt electric system and a larger gas tank as well. It also had a King of the Highway option package, which included hard saddlebags, removable windshield, luggage wrap, and plenty of chrome goodies. In 1969, Harley-Davidson started offering an accessory windshield, and in 1971, the Batwing fairing became standard equipment, rendering a shape that remains almost unchanged to this day. Although long the favored ride of the police departments, it was the Electroglide that truly cemented Harley-Davidson as America's police bike. a fact immortalized in the 1973 film Electroglide in Blue. Now, over its 100-year history, Harley-Davidson had a ton of bikes that could have made the all-time list, and for purpose of this video, we just kept it to 5. So next on the list, we flash forward to 1990 and say the Harley-Davidson Fat Boy. Although the original Softail, the FXST, was unveiled in 1984, it was little more than Harley's now trademark hardtail look, rear suspension grafted onto one of its 70s style choppers. It wasn't until 1990's the Fat Boy, a revolution in the styling of production cruiser motorcycles, that the Softail caught on. Solid disc wheels front and rear, both for the first time, with 16-inch diameters, and shotgun exhaust were matted to a powder-coated frame. Valance fendered and FL-style front forks. Original Fat Boys were powered by Harley's 1340cc Evolution V-twin, and current models rock the Milwaukee 8 107 or 114. Although its revolutionary styling is officially credited to Louis Neitz and famed Harley designer Willie G. Davidson, the Fat Boy was heavily influenced from the fairly large run of custom bikes produced in Canada. Around 1984, Harley-Davidson Montreal was crafting a cruiser it called Lowboy out of a lesser Softail by adding 16-inch disc wheels and shotgun mufflers, among other notable styling features. So there's 5 all-time Harleys. I'm sure you have some that didn't make the list, so what would yours be? Leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell. Thanks for watching, and don't forget,
I am Anonymous Biker USA.